This is how the room looks now, before we get a hold of it. You know, the floors have got to be redone, the baseboards are going to be removed, walls are going to be painted, and that is my first time to see a really, really bad crack. So, we'll have to address that. Anyway, so we're about to clear stuff out and get ready to work on this. And meanwhile, Jane is going to be down the hall finishing up the laundry room encasing and door and walls, while I do the baseboard removal and the quarter round removal. Jane is in the process of sanding and then getting ready for more painting of the framework and the door for the laundry room, which we said before when we first got here, it was just a hall closet. So we removed out of the kitchen the washer and dryer and created this laundry room. A great friend of mine gave us the door and we created the framework, and now Jane's getting ready to put a second coat on it and also paint the wall. And we, if you notice up top, this is for ventilation so that the heat can come out, out of the enclosure, because when you close the door, it really makes it a lot more quiet in there. So that's what Jane's doing.
Yep. All right, Van is taking out the phone box before he starts taking out the baseboard and quarter rounds for the small bedroom here.
Also note that I have a big giant hole right here that I've got to cover up before the end of the day because air is just flowing.
He's wearing ear protection, because in his younger days he did not do that. And now he has wisened up, if that's a word, and uses ear protection all the time. So the quarter round baseboard is coming up.
When I was restoring antique buildings of all type, I ran upon these all the time, and artisans and craftsmen would throw in pennies for the year that they were working on the project. Jane and I need to start doing the same thing so everybody knows that we did this in 2021, if we can find new pennies. That you can see some of the dates along here on these pennies. It's just kind of a traditional thing. I first found it down in Sumter County. These actually came out of the wall, not the floor.
Okay, as Van is taking the baseboard up, first he has to take a utility knife and score along the edge to release the paint. Then you can see he's taking the tool and prying the baseboards off, and he tries to do it where there's a stud so we won't have a hole in the wall. For the most part it comes up pretty easily, but scoring it makes it a lot easier. And there's no telling what he'll find behind the baseboards this time. Progress is messy.
Whenever this baseboard was put up, they did old-fashioned nails. These look like 12 penny, and they look about 2.5 inches long. And they would find the studs and hammer them in. Now we use guns now. So this is what the old baseboard looked. Now I'm finding all kind of surprises since I removed the baseboard, and the main one is right here. I go straight down to the dirt underneath the house. So, and right here. So what I gotta do is I'm gonna take time now, and I think it's gonna drywall it, like some spare drywall. This on the floor, just temporarily, until I can make a more permanent solution.
Okay, where that crack in the wall was, Van decided to do a little exploration, and you can see there's newspaper in the wall, which is interesting. I'd love to know what year it was, but we're going to leave it alone. And then he cut drywall and is going to patch this place so it will disappear. He'll do an awesome job as usual.
That is the first layer of patching where that big giant crack was under the window. So what I did is I just cut it out, put new drywall in, which actually does not match the stuff from 1949. So I had to build it up, sand down a little bit, build it up. And what you're looking at, all those are not baseboards. They're just temporary blocks to keep the wind, the cold air from coming up from underneath the house. So it's just a temporary, it's drywall, cut it 4 inches, just so that cold air quit flowing back through. So this is where Jane got to today in this room. Said she's gonna do a second coat, but it looks mighty good. So we're moving along on the second bedroom.